What's the real value of hiring a financial planner? Now, obviously, I have a bias because I'm a financial planner, but my parents were burned by 4 financial advisors, so I'm also pretty skeptical when it comes to hiring an advisor. In fact, I am the weird advisor that has made many videos like this: why everyone doesn't need a CFP, and when does it make sense to really hire an advisor. And I believe it's all about timing. And there's certain people who reach out who go, look, I resonate with the videos and I'm ready to work with Root, I think. And I'll say, I just don't think we can add a lot of value. I don't think it makes sense yet. And they'll be confused. And then there's other people who reach out and go, yeah, I don't know if it's the right time. And I'll explain what we do, and they'll say, oh, I didn't know that was included. I think that's what I'm actually looking for. So what you can see on my screen here, this is a quantifying the value of financial advice. And you can see there's numbers that I'm going to walk you through. And these studies, they're not done by us. You can see this was done by companies like Vanguard, who put out their Advisors Alpha study, or by Investnet. And I'm going to go through this in some detail, but I'm going to be totally honest with you. The number one reason, when I'll ask people, I'll say, hey, why are you joining Root and why are you paying us so much money? And I'm very transparent, and I will say that. And generally the response that I'll receive is, the tax planning is missing, the withdrawal strategy, the healthcare. It seems like you guys post so many videos about this. This is really what you guys specialize in. I have an advisor today and I'm not getting this level of value. And I just want to make sure I'm going to get proactive service where I'm not going to have to reach out to you. You're going to already tell me things I otherwise couldn't have known. So if you do those are the main things I'm looking for. And I'll say, okay, that's very reasonable. A year goes by and I'll say, why are you still paying us? And they'll say, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't know this was going to be a full job in retirement. I just didn't know this level of detail was involved in the process. And so I'm bringing this up because the number one reason that you should consider working with an advisor is so you don't have to do it. You are paying for your time, the only non-renewable currency. And for some of you, you're like, this is what I love doing. I wake up in the morning and I read tax law. Awesome. You might not need an advisor. There are certain people who will reach out to us that go, sell me on working with an advisor. And I'll go, I don't think you probably want one. It sounds like it's not the best fit for you. If you have to be sold on it heavily, then it's just one of those relationships. It could work out at the beginning and then you're just going to be frustrated long term. And if you're always going to be looking at the statement, going, okay, here's the fee and here's the value and checking it every single second, every day, you're going to drive yourself nuts. And that's the exact reason not to hire an advisor, because you're hiring an advisor to free up your time. Yes, you're paying for financial value with expertise. That's clear. We have made, I don't know how many videos now, but something over 2,000 videos on YouTube with different case studies going over how we help clients with healthcare, tax planning, estate planning, withdrawal. But I'll also make videos like this. This video you can see here, this is where I talk about the most unethical advice that I've ever seen as an advisor. And what happened in this video is an advisor was explaining how valuable he was going to be. Roth conversions could be so cool. And obviously I'm dramatizing this, but the advisor was trying to show, hey, if you hire me, you're going to receive more value in relation to the fee, so you should pay me. And I said, that's very dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is what an advisor can do, which I think is very unethical, is say, look at this. Don't enjoy your retirement to the fullest. Watch your pre-tax, your 401k and IRA. Watch those grow. Look, you're going to have a huge tax burden. Your required distributions are going to be gigantic. You should make sure to work with me because I'm like Superman here, and I'm going to make sure that you do not pay more than necessary in taxes. And you'll be like, okay, maybe that makes sense. But what they should be doing first is saying, how much would you like to spend? And would you want to retire earlier? It won't make their fee look as attractive because you're going to live a more full life, but the Roth conversion value in this hypothetical situation isn't going to look as attractive. So the reason I bring this up is there's a lot of things advisors will do to make it so they seem valuable. The biggest thing I tell people is you are paying so you don't have a new job in retirement. Now, before you watch the rest of this video, check this out. It's also in the description of this video. This is our FAQ section. So guys, my marketing team is very nice and they give us great advice. They build beautiful things for us. You can see how amazing this looks. And I love their transparency. And they said at one point, hey, normally an FAQ page has like a few questions, but we don't want to overburden them. And I said, I get that, but that's not what we're doing. So you can see here, every question that I hope you could possibly think of, I put on this page. What can I expect if we work together? What does the personalized process look like? Can you just give me like a 30-second version of how this works? What happens after I start working with Root? What type of people does Root work with, and who do we like to work with? Do you have enough money to be a client? Where will your money be? How does transferring money work? Do we have to hand over everything? Do we have to commit long term? What else does Root do? And how do we meet with clients who are not located nearby? That's just section 1, by the way. I go, what are your fees? How do you charge? How do you justify the fee? What fees can I expect? We go even deeper. Do James or Ari see every client? Who are you going to be working with? How good are our advisors actually? What are the services we offer? So the ultimate goal is that you have total clarity on what we do. And I apologize if it's overkill. And we give both written and video responses to these questions. So I definitely recommend checking out our FAQ page. Now, I promised I would go over this, so that's what I'm going to do here, because obviously I think this is important as well. But you can see here, it varies massively. So you can see we talk about tax deductions and retirement contributions and tax loss harvesting and conversions and tax arbitrage. And this is the potential economic impact according to many of these studies, looking at income taxes and estate taxes and retirement planning. But some of these things you can't exactly quantify. And I don't love these studies because to me, it's where advisors can tweak numbers and make themselves sound more important than they actually are. So I say, hey, rather than look at some of these things, and we could pick one out, eliminate a financial catastrophe. Okay, what if we helped a client protect from investing in one thing? Yeah, you could say that's priceless, but even that to me is a little bit of a marketing push, if you ask me. Ensure things actually get done, priceless. Okay, spending money to free up time, or yeah, some of these things you can't quantify. Some of these things, withdrawal sources. Yeah, that there is clear value when people are giving good withdrawal advice. But what I would recommend if you're still going, okay, what's the value on the quantifiable side? I already told you, I think the number one reason you should pay us or any advisor is so you don't have to do it. You are paying for your time. But from there, you want to see some more data. You want to understand more. James and I, James, my partner, and the founder and CEO of Root, we actually went in great detail about this study done by Vanguard. And Vanguard says when you do these things right, an advisor can add 3% in alpha. Otherwise said, if you're paying an advisor 1% or less and you're getting 3% in value, why would you not work with an advisor? Now, there's more to consider there. But if you want to see the other content that we talk about specifically regarding value, check this link out here. What does Vanguard say about advisors? And we break down to help clients understand and really get clear on what it is they're paying for and what they can expect. Because certain people will reach out and share their expectations, and we'll say honestly, hey, I don't think we can meet your expectations. We shouldn't work together. You're not going to like us because long term, I don't think you're going to see, wow, this is exactly what we're looking for, and we don't want you to be an unhappy client. There's other people that reach out and they go, wow, I didn't know you would do all of this. That's more than I even knew about. So you can see we have very transparent episodes where we talk about this. I go into great detail about the new Vanguard studies, and I review the study myself and why Vanguard maybe isn't even optimal, but also when it does make a ton of sense. So I go and try to educate as much as possible so when people do reach out to work with Root or any advisor, they have confidence that they're making the right decision, because unfortunately, my parents are still working in their 70s. If it was up to them, they would not be working to the degree they're working. Luckily, they like their job, but it's because they were passed on from many advisors and didn't receive great financial advice along the way. So safe to say, I hope that does not happen to you. And if you are watching all this going, this sounds interesting, I want to talk to Root, I want to learn more, that's of course a conversation we would love to have. And if you go to our website, rootfinancial.com, in the upper right, you'll see a little button that says see if you're a fit, and then we might be talking very soon. Thanks, guys.